5 at Belmont Park. It is a Westmead 3-year-old handicap over the 1400 metres. And Ian, one of the tougher races to take a look at.
Yeah, this is incredibly hard. We do have a few horses that recently competed against each other. But I didn't find that any easier to assess. I found this very difficult.
Well, last start winner we'll take a look at for the Grant Williams stable. And isn't that just going perfectly at the moment? William Pike riding. This was See Me Sizzle winning last start by half length over Maddie's Choice, which is also in the race.
Side Gina's Thorn and the widest of them, Pretty St. John. 400 left to go and he calls upon Maddie's Choice. See Me Sizzle though lays down the gauntlet, answers the call very quickly and goes to the lead. Down the outside, War Tune. In behind them, Who's the Guru? Rosewood Hill further back, 150 to go. He draws the whip on See Me Sizzle. Maddie's Choice sticks on, but See Me Sizzle going better than them close to home. And See Me Sizzle goes on to win it by about a neck to Maddie's Choice.
Yeah, look, See Me Sizzle is bred to be Prime Minister. It is one of the best bred horses I've seen race in Western Australia. And last start, it was a very good indication this horse is developing to something. Look, it wasn't incredibly strong on times, but it is the progression that we're expecting from this horse.
Certainly did show a lot in that victory. What about the other form lines around Petite Charm? And of course, a really good run in the end by Move On Notice, which managed to only finish a neck behind Petite Charm. And there was a few other runners in that race as well.
Yeah, Move On Notice was a good performance. It took a lot of effort getting to the front, but that race rated, I guess, worse than the other race, which Bevel came from. So from those two form lines, look, I'm not too sure who to have. I think they're much the same.
Well, let's talk about Bevel then, because this horse has certainly been impressive in the two runs so far. Beaten 1.3 lengths by Sporting Image and beaten a half length by Perfect Reflection, which looks to be a nice type as well. Jared Noski takes the ride and drawn nicely in barrier 4.
Yeah, drawn very nicely here. Should be able to get one out, one back again where it was last start. And with those form lines, should be competitive.
Well, let's take a look at selections then for race number 5. I'm going to be tipping number 3, Bevel. From number 6, Move On Notice. Number 2, See Me Sizzle. And number 8, Source of Survival.
I'm 2, See Me Sizzle on top. From 6, Move On Notice. Number 1, Chanzig. And the 3, Bevel in for 4.
Race number 6 at Belmont Park. It is the Amelia Park handicap over the 1400 metres. And I'm really looking forward to this race because there's a few horses with a few question marks as well, and I speak of the likes of Paris or Troy. If it is a Swoopers Day, can it go out in front and hold on? Penella Miss is being inconsistent at the moment with the runs. Capanda knocking on the door but hasn't quite got the job done. And then even a horse like Big Clippers looked to be in pretty good form as well, but hasn't quite got the victory.
Yeah, definitely one of the hardest races of the day, and ultimately I went with the horses that looked like they'll be in the best position in running because I think this is very evenly matched. You mentioned the performance of a few others, but the 2, Black Aria, was super last start. Benefited from the pace set by Big Clipper and really came home strongly.
It was a very good performance, as you mentioned. Let's take a look at Black Aria now, chasing down Big Clipper.
At the 400, the leader from Belrov, who stuck to him like glue. Then 4 lengths, Born Regal, followed by the key cutter, Black Aria. At the 250, and Pike sits down and goes to work on Big Clipper. Big Clipper's raced away from Belrov. Black Aria's running on. Big Clipper well clear with 100 left to go. Belrov sticks on. Black Aria's coming with a run now. Here comes Black Aria. Big Clipper shortening stride. Black Aria swooped upon it, grabbed the lead. Black Aria
came from a long way back, Black Aria, but was certainly aided by that tempo set. So coming into this, the conditions that we are predicting from a good barrier, you'd expect Black Aria to be a good chance.
As expected, William Pike hops off Big Clipper and will ride for Adam Duran and Mr. Bob Peters as well. What are you expecting from special delivery?
The trial was okay, but there was no blinkers worn in that. Look, this horse has invariably raced in listed and group races its entire career, down to the 55 kilograms. I'd prefer to have this on my side, but I'm maybe thinking second or third up for this galloper.
There's 2 horses that I really like in this race, and I think they'll be in a nice position. Conditions will suit as well. And the first one of those is number 3, Civil Rights for Dion Luciani. Jerry Noskid ride, a really good performance behind coming back last start.
It was brilliant last start. It was 3 wide, no cover throughout, and had the audacity to almost pinch that race. It's going super at the moment. We'll likely get the run of the race, as will the 5 Capanda, in my opinion, who'll be probably 1 out, 2 back. With the claim of Jake Casey, I see a lot of positives for this horse.
Certainly does look to be a good race for those 2 runners. Let's take a look at selections, and I'm going to be tipping number 3, Civil Rights. From number 5, Capanda, number 4, Penella Miss, and number 7, Big Clipper.
I'm 5, Capanda on top. From 3, Civil Rights, the 10, Special Delivery, and number 1, Paris and Troy.
Race number 7 at Belmont Park. It is a Tab Touch handicap over the 1400 metres. Again, a really strong field, and probably shouldn't be excited about the horse considering it's only over 1400 metres, but I'm looking forward to seeing Kirov Boy return.
Yeah, I struggled to see what it would do in the run because really this horse has no other racing pattern than going forward. So going forward over 1,400 metres, expect this to knock up quite quickly, but hey, if it goes back, you never know.
The horse that we're going to take a look at for the replay is Thunderclap Newman, and there's no debate that the form lines are strong around this. It was beaten by Halo Express, which then stepped up in weight and came out and won the following Saturday. So let's take a look at Thunderclap Newman, getting out late and attacking the line strongly.
In the straight at the 350 with Right Honourable clear by 2 to Hold Your Tongue. Halo Express now gets the run between them. Down the outside comes War Prince and also the Alleged. War Prince, the Alleged, coming at Halo Express. Halo Express with 100 left to go. War Prince can't get to him. Halo Express fighting hard. He'll have enough in hand. Halo Express goes on to win it. Tight for second. Thunderclap.
I'll speak through my kick here. I was on Thunderclap Newman and it should have won the race in my opinion. It was a great finish. That finish, you project that a little bit further, it certainly gets there right in the line. So this barrier here should get a great run in transit and this will be very hard to beat.
There's a horse I wanted to put on top this start, and we put it on top last start because of the same reasons, and that's number 5, Rorted. And I've ended up completely leaving out of my selections. Clint Johnson Porter said it just didn't quite feel right that start, but again, with the 52.5 kilos, if this horse gets any favours and is near its best, he'll win. Yeah,
it was beaten by Winkin and Nod by 3 lengths and drops 4.5 kilograms on that run. Well, we were both keen on it last start. It just didn't get out of the barriers, and that ultimately ended its race because it was too far back. In the end, it just ran on mildly. But if this jumps cleanly with the others, I think it can be a really good shake.
Now, if there's any rain around at all, and we are expecting a few showers throughout leading into Saturday, Zuccaros just loves the wet, finds another leg, and William Pike to ride.
Yeah, 1,400 is a negative. Its record over this distance isn't flash, but at the break, I'm really keen on Zuccaros to arrest that, I guess, disappointing performance last start and dropping 3 kilograms. William Pike on so many positives.
Well, let's take a look at selections. I'm going to be tipping number 10, Thunderclap Newman. From number 9, The Alleged, throwing in number 4, War Prince, and number 7, Zuccaros.
I'm number 7, Zuccaros on top from 10, Thunderclap Newman, the 5, Rorted, number 4, War Prince.
Race number 8 at Belmont Park. It is over the 1,200 metres, and I'm really looking forward to this race to finish it off. Some real class with the likes of Dana Blue, Mickey Two Toes, Wild Stratus, Tiger Pete's been in good form, and also Tonto first up.
I'm bullish about 3 horses. I love all 3 of these gallopers, Wild Stratus, Tonto and My Sister Lil, and 2 of them have blinkers on, and 1 of them has William Pike on, so it's going to be a cracker, but Wild Stratus last start, it was a super performance.
It certainly was, as you mentioned, and this is one of the horses that gets the blinkers going on as well. Attacked the line strongly, was in a close, narrow finish. It went down by just under a length. Let's take a look at that run now.
And they're followed further back by Cerise, Petrol Power, Hobart Jones headed the remainder. Wild Stratus threading its way through a bit of traffic. At the 250, it's Akadasset, Benito together, Flying Timer, Zuccaros on the outside, Petrol Power getting a run through, so's Tiger Pete, and down the outside, Hobart Jones. Wild Stratus coming through, Flying Time hit the lead though, down the outside, Hobart Jones, Flying Time.
It weaved its way through there, probably had the most sprite on the line, Wild Stratus, and Peter Nucky getting on board from a good barrier, blinkers on, just tick, tick, tick for me.
She's, you look at her racing form, and obviously going into this, had 5 career starts for 3 victories in second. Now hasn't won in those last 2 races and unplaced in both of those as well, but conditions just haven't suited. She looks though she's going to be incredibly hard to beat.
Yeah, I really agree. I think she's capable of winning listed and group races if she gets the right circumstance. So this should just be a stepping stone in my opinion, but there's 2 other good sweepers in the race.
Well, the second one with blinkers going on is number 10, My Sister Lil. Drawn nicely, the 55.5 kilos. Last time over the 1,200 metres in a 66 plus. Just went a little bit too early and was beaten by Ideal Image. And I just think dropping a half kilo as well, going to be very hard to run down as well with that turn of foot.
Yeah, dismiss that last run. It was caught inside. The blinkers are going on for the first time and they have magical properties. And dropping back to the 1,200 metres here, it has a great record at this distance. It'll be right there.
And what about number 9, Tonto? First up, ridden by William Pike. This horse has a devastating turn of foot as well and doesn't mind racing fresh.
No, it doesn't. It has a good record over this distance as well, even though it was aimed at, I guess, longer journeys. But William Pike getting on this galloper, this will be back in the field. This will finish outstandingly, mark my words.
And number 1, Dana Blue. It needs to improve. It hasn't been that good in recent times, but you go through its form lines, and the last time at 66 plus last year, beat Miss Rose DeLargo, carrying a little bit less weight, but it just shows how classy this horse can be.
Yeah, and I expected improvement last up, but it was caught 3 wide without cover, so I'm willing to dismiss and give it one more chance here.
Let's take a look at selections then for the final race of the day. I'm going to be tipping number 6, Wild Stratus. From number 10, My Sister Lil, number 1, Dana Blue, and number 9, Tonto.
The same 4 as you. I'm the 6, Wild Stratus on top from 10, My Sister Lil, number 9, Tonto, and the 1, Dana Blue.
Well, it's time now to take a look at the best bets. I'm going to be tipping race 7, number 10, Thunderclap Newman, and race 8, number 6, Wild Stratus.
And race 2, number 10, Military Rain, and with you in the final race, number 6, Wild Stratus.
And as we always say, make sure you follow us on social media at Perth Racing on Twitter. You can see us on Instagram and Facebook as well. And the website's certainly a place to visit now because so many events coming up and, of course, returning to Ascot pretty soon.
Yeah, I think we're all excited about that. The redevelopment of the second floor members area, which would certainly encourage more people to become members, and we highly encourage you to do that because it is one of the best views in Perth.
Well, hopefully we found you a couple of winners throughout this program. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Box Seat.